Greetings, Algo artisans. It's been an exciting week. We did just have Bitcoin break its all-time high once again, and it went right back down. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, PEPE, Shiba Inu, a few others, and we're going to look at them in the charts right now. Okay, so we're looking at Bitcoin here, and right as we did our private show, just ended that about an hour ago, a little bit more, did say that price might head up to about 69,500, right? I talked about this in the private show. You're looking at a 30-minute chart right here. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in right now, and I based this based on a bullish ascending triangle pattern, and I did a Fibonacci extension from that because that's how you do those targets. And I said that the target probably would be at this 618 fib extension right here, yeah, and that was at 69,560. And sure enough, right after the show ended, price rocketed up to that, went a little bit higher than that, and then headed down right back into this longer, starting to become long consolidation going back several days. So we did see really the true all-time high break, but it did not close. It actually immediately came back down, and now we're looking at a possible pullback. The liquidity that we had there going back even to this morning is way down here at the 63,600 to 64,700 area, and it looks as if price is diving right down to grab that. So I can almost guarantee you that there was some liquidity up top. Perhaps I didn't see it at the time in any large amount, but it does appear the price came up to grab this if there was any up here at all. And again, I'd have to look back in time, and I can do that, and I'll do that maybe after the show. But the point here is that liquidity was grabbed, shorts got filled, price is heading back down, and there's a decent chance it will head back down to this low kind of mid 60s area. It's already at 66,400, so 64,063 are very, very close by. And like I said, there's a fair amount of liquidity for price to grab, and it's heading down there right before our very eyes. So all very predictable, predicted in our show this morning, and anytime you can predict the movement of price of anything, you can make money. And predictions were made this morning, and there you go. So let's take a look at the Ethereum chart. Okay, still on the 30-minute chart, you can see that all the cryptos are following Bitcoin. Bitcoin is moving down, and Ethereum is moving down right along with it, and we'll see the same with Solana as well. I got a sneak preview before the show, so I'm going to zoom out to a higher time frame so we can take a look at this more holistic. So we are now looking at the weekly time frame, and I did have, and if you look at my shows going back all the way back to 2-3 weeks ago at least, I had 4,000, and just below 4,000 is one of my targets. I think I said 39.90, 39.80. Now there is older structure, I believe, at 41.50. It looks as if I have had a lot of my stuff erased. I like to start with fresh charts from time to time, but I did have my targets just below 4,000, and you can see price made its way right up to 39.91 at least on KuCoin, and that is that. I mean, I think my target was like 39.80. I mean, that is very, very precise, very precise. Another win for the cowboy. So basically, we are seeing some really precision target calling here on my part. Now, we can look at this as an impulse on which we can put a Fibonacci extension. However, we would need a significant pullback for me to really measure this as an impulse. Now, technically, we did have a pullback here. This was kind of based on the Bitcoin move back. So if I were to do a Fibonacci extension based on this impulse, we would have some targets that are quite a bit higher. And those targets would be sitting at, for Fibonacci basis, about 42.50 and 48.05. Okay, so those are some kind of higher time frame moves up. However, if we got a significant pullback, which I doubt we're going to get, the market is so bullish right now, I think we'll have a quick pullback, and then I'm imagining price will continue to go up. But if for some reason there was a significant pullback, then we could pull this extension a little bit further, which would just move our targets up a hair, say 44.50 and about 5,000. But again, I think it's very premature to think about things in that manner. I don't think that's terribly wise. If anything, I would use this smaller impulse that occurred after the big Bitcoin drop just a few days ago, and I would use this impulse as a way to measure where price might go, assuming that there is a decent pullback that we've not seen yet. So again, this is a tad premature, but it's always good to have this stuff in mind. The targets to the upside with Ethereum in this case would be some very close targets at 42.10 and 44.50, which 44.50 seems to have some confluence based on some of the other measurements we've had. And you do actually have, here's that 4150 that we talked about. So that might be a way to front run 4200, old structure from 2022 where price actually rallied up and was pushed down at the end of the last bull. And then we have a couple of other structural points that are relevant as well. And your all-time high at 4876. So this structural moment here right at 4500, I think 4500 is a place where once whatever happens in the current market, right? We get a retracement, we don't, whatever it is, as soon as things stabilize and we get another leg up, then it does seem like 4500 is a decent target, right? Right around 45 or 4450, something like that seems like price might be going up there and then taking a rest. But for now, again, we just had this violent move down with Bitcoin, a move up and down. And so before I start worrying about upside targets, I want to see what happens with Ethereum in its current incarnation, right? Its current market iteration. So let's move on to Solana. And again, we'll see the same kind of pullback here. Now, I did have a Solana long, and of course, just like everything always is in the bull market, it will rely on Bitcoin continuing to be bullish. We had a good looking trade up until this move down in Bitcoin. So, I was about a third of the way to target, which is beautiful, and it is still bullish. There's a really good chance it's going to continue up from here. This is why I have a relatively deep stop loss down below some of this liquidity here, right? And Solana's in the same kind of scenario. We just got to look to see what may happen. I do have a little bit better defined of an impulse here though than I did with Ethereum. And again, this is reliant on the impulse down and up caused by Bitcoin. So there is going to be some margin of error here, but I have a target up here at about 171 for the current trade. If I wanted to play it safe based on that impulse, I could move that target down to 166, but I like 171. It's the target I calculated prior, and I'm going to stick with the plan. However, the next move up might take us to 185, and that might be a good place to look. 200 is clearly a resistance, and I think that's an all-time high, if I'm not mistaken. If I go, it's a little higher than that. All-time high for Solana is 260. So we're a little ways, and of course you can see where I got this Fibonacci extension from this much larger move before, right? So the 170 is based on this huge impulse going back to November and ending in December, and that's where we get 171. And I am confident in that target as price already is heading back up and nearly at entry. So let's take a quick look at some meme coins, and then we will end our show. PEPE continues up, and I would look at, again, Fib extensions are all we can really do with PEPE. I want to take a look at this broader move up here. And for PEPE, for near-term targets, I'd be looking at about 11.2, right? Just based on a very well-defined extension on the way up here. And PEPE is actually, it seems to be relatively ignoring that move down in Bitcoin. Shows a lot of strength, actually. And you do have just below that 10,000 mark, a good place where I might want to, if I were in a trade, take some profit. But the main profit taking point would be at about 11.2. And Shiba Inu, take a look at that. This actually is a trade. Now, I'm not in this trade. I drew this trade out. And this was before Bitcoin made its move down. Obviously, the stop loss was well placed because price did not make its way down anywhere near that. Of course, if Bitcoin were to continue down, then we would be seeing a possible move down. But here is a freebie and a better entry in this freebie. And the targets I see would be roughly at about 52,750 and 61,700. Okay, well, that's just a quick chart roundup. It's Friday. I'm going to get out of here and enjoy the rest of the day here. In the meantime, we hope to see you over at Algo Factory. At Algo Factory, we help you build trading algorithms, a trading method, whether you want to trade old-fashioned or you want to go ahead and try to computerize your trading. Either way, we can put you on the path to doing that. We're over at www.algofactory.tech. We're extremely cheap. Come find us, trade your job, upgrade your life. We'll see you on the next one.